Hello, my fiber friends. Welcome to Knottyyarnies. My name is Barb, and I'm your host on this channel. And it is Thursday, December the 9th. It is almost, we're going into the middle of December already, folks. Like, I cannot believe November, I blinked, I missed the whole month. Like, literally blinked and missed it. I don't know how that happens. There's only two things that happened in November that I remember that flew by, but I had company for a couple days. No, I didn't have company for a couple days. I had company for a couple hours here one afternoon on the weekend, and I put my Christmas tree up one day in November. I don't know where November went, honestly. I guess there was something else. I went to Christkindl Mart, it's called, and it is a German craft fair that we have here every year, except for 2020. I don't think anybody did anything in 2020, did we really? Oh my goodness. Oh. Hi, all my fiber friends. Welcome to Knottyyarnies. I'm your host, Barb, and I'm coming to you from Ontario, Canada. Very, very cool day today, but it's supposed to be some nice weather coming up, so that's wonderful. We got a little bit of snow this week for our first snowfall, so I was really looking forward to that. And yeah, I've got lots to share with you today. So as you probably noticed by the title, this is the knit version of my podcast. So if you're not a knitter and you only crochet, you can choose just to watch and hear me chat about knitting and yarn and things like that. Or maybe you want to get into knitting and you want some inspiration. Stay tuned. I would love to have you along. Or if you're just interested in the crochet version, that will be out soon as well, or it already is. I'm not sure which order I'm going to put them out. I record them both the same day, and then I edit them, and then I choose which days to put them out. So if you're new here, welcome. I just wanted to make sure you knew that I separate them, so there's one knit and a crochet version. Otherwise, they're too long because I have too many things going on to share that it takes up way too much time if I have it all into one. So everybody was so great and give me their feedback and thought that it would be wonderful to have it in two parts. So if you just knit, you could watch the knit. If you just crochet, you could do that, or you can watch both. So welcome. How are you today? I hope you have a drink, you're settled all in, and you're going to do a craft along while I chat with you about what I've been doing, what I've been up to. I have a couple test things that I've tested in the last couple weeks. I have 5 FOs, and of that 5 FOs, 3 I haven't even shown you. So they're already done, and I didn't even show you them as a whip. And I have, how many whips do I have here? I think I just have 2 whips. Yep, just 2 whips. And they're both new whips, so you haven't seen those either. I might have chatted about them, but they're brand new cast-ons that you haven't seen yet. I forgot to tell you where you can find me. Knottyyarnies at all the places, spelt the exact same that it is down in the description box or under the video. So on Ravelry, Instagram, YouTube, Gmail, all Knottyyarnies. Easy peasy, thought I'd make that easy. The only difference is in Instagram, of course, there's no space. It's just all one word, Knottyyarnies, spelt the exact same way to make it easy all over the place. So I'm glad you joined me today, and let's get right into it. I've got some live chat at the very end if you want to stick around for that. And just before I do that, I've got some things that I want to show you that come in Happy Mail and a couple things I've purchased. So, but mostly it's all FOs today. It's a FO parade pretty much. So I'll try to get through them as quickly and swiftly as I can, but making sure I give all the information that I can for it. So I'll first of all start off with the two that you have seen, the two FOs that you had seen in progress on the last episode of the podcast. So the first one I did for, it's a pattern by Cozy Up Knits. It's a hat pattern, and they had any of their hat patterns, and they were hosting a knit along for them. So it's over now. It ended the 30th of November. I did not win a prize, but I just like the knit alongs. It's not to do it for the prizes. I enjoy doing it, so I know and could follow along in Ravelry. Everybody is doing the same kind of things, and you get inspired by everybody else's and get ideas too. So if you remember, I was using Charisma yarn in the color, or actually it's Baby Charisma, I think. Charisma Baby in the colorway Bubblegum. It's a number 4 weight yarn, and I was using 4.5 millimeter needles. But this pattern is called Blurry Flurry by Cozy Up Knits. Last time you've seen it, I was here. So I had just some of the cuff done, and I decided to do a very large, it's not a cuff, guys, it's a brim. So I was here on the brim the last time you've seen it, so I had almost about half the brim done, but I wanted to be able to fold it up. So here's where I was the last time. And here's all the brim, because I like, being in Ontario, Canada, I like a very thick brim. So even with number 4 weight yarn, I like it to be nice and thick on my ears. And isn't that beautiful? Like the decreased section's very, very nice. I love the speckling of this hat. I have a picture that actually I'll insert here of me wearing it instead of me keep putting on all the different hats that I have today and having to go redo my hair. Not that it's all done up, it just gets pretty frizzy. But this was a very, very fun knit. It's a paid for pattern by them, but they're always offering coupon codes all the time, so maybe around Christmas time they'll be having more. Right now, if you go to Cozy Up Knits, all their patterns that are for Advents, so all the ones that use Advent minis are all on for 25% off through till December 31st, I believe. So this is the Blurry Flurry hat. It's beautiful. I love it. I love the color. This is my second Blurry Flurry. Last podcast, I had shown you one in Christmas colors as well. That's my first FO. My second FO, you also seen it before. So these were casted on last time, and I was right here at the heel on both of them, because I do 2 at a time, but I do them on separate needles. And I was here, so I start from the cuff down. So I had the heel on one to do, and the heel was done on the other one already. And I had both of the feet to do, left to do. So this is Patton's Croy FX. And the colorway is called Cameo Colors. It took the 250 gram balls because this time I did 64 stitches, and I used 2.25 millimeter Chowgu needles. This time I did twisted rib. I did 1 by 1 twisted rib, and I only did 35 rows on the leg instead of my normal 40, and then I had to do the 45 rows after I finished the decreases for the gusset. The reason I'm saying I changed things is because my first pair I made I ran out of yarn, because I like to do a slouchier sock, so I usually do 72 stitches, but when I did that I ended up needing a 3rd ball of the patterns, and I didn't have it, so I had to scramble for another ball. So that was fun. So I thought if I cut down some of the leg and I do less stitches, and I had maybe a half an ounce, not a half an ounce, a half a gram or a gram at the very, very most left. Like I was playing yarn chicken at the end. I truly, truly was. So this is my mom's second pair. So you had seen this as a whip. So yeah, what I do is I do the cuff on one set of needles, then I go to the other set of needles and I cast on the cuff. Then I do the full leg on the one set of needles. I do the one set of leg, the one leg on the other set of needles. I do the heel on one needle, then I do the heel on the other. Then I do the foot, do the toe, and then they're both done. And no second sock syndrome here. So they're both done at once without having to fuss in my head about having them both on the same set of needles. So okay, so that's those. Okay, so my mom's next set of socks, I cast it on and cast it off, and I haven't shown them on the podcast yet. They are, oh, 1 second, I don't have down what it is. Sorry guys, I'm not sure. Usually I put the tag in the yarn cake that's left, and for some reason it's not there. So I will try to find it and put it on the screen. If it's not on the screen, I apologize. I just know it's a yarn that I got from Wool Time in Ottawa. It was a 150 gram ball. And here is the finished product. Look away, Mom. So again, I did the same here with the socks, except for the cuff. I only did a 15 row cuff, and I did 2 by 2 ribbing, and then you could see there's a purl bump all underneath the ribbing. So I wanted that separation of a line. I just wanted something different on these ones. So I did that, and then did the rest the exact same as the first set. So these were cast on and cast off since my last podcast as well. And I just wanted to show everybody. So these are the 3 pairs of socks that I made my mom for Christmas. So got this pair here. Sorry, they're not on blockers. I only have 4 blockers, and 2 pairs are for men's, like size 13, 14s. And then I only have 2 women's size 9, 10s. So here's her first pair in this lovely color. And then her second pair that I did her, this lovely color. And then her last pair in this lovely color. Yeah, so I hope she loves those. So they're always fun. I enjoy having socks on the needles all the time. When I've got a headache or I don't feel like thinking very much, I find it just calm and soothing to have plain vanilla socks on the needles. I do plan to, in the new year though, try some socks out of my 52 shades. No, I almost said 52 shades of socks. 52 weeks of socks book. Oh my goodness, where's my head? Oh my word. I'm probably blushing right now. Okay, so moving right along. My next FO. Now it's an FO also. So the rest are FOs that I haven't shown on the podcast. I have talked about the next one. I'll go in, I'm going to switch the order here. So I showed you the last podcast a swatch I was doing for the Mcadams Toque by Randy Marathu. Marathu? I'm sorry, Randy, if I botched your last name. I apologize. I'm terrible with last names, just terrible. But it's the Mcadams Toque. It's named after a school that's, I don't know if her children go there or it's just local in her community. But this was a test knit for her, and I'm telling you, it was a blast. I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed learning along, helping her out. It was her first pattern she's ever tried to release. So it was fun to work hand in hand with somebody who's learning along with you as well. Such a neat pattern. So I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to show you with a picture with me on. I find the pictures, because they look nice and you can see it up close, and it just does no justice because I can't tell where I'm showing it to you. So here it is. This is the Mcadams Toque. Top. So it has a brim that you do, like, I'm not going to say how many inches. I don't want to give any part of it away, but it gets folded up, and then of course you knit it so that it stays together like that. I actually prefer, like, if I'm going to make another one, she wanted you to make it exactly like pattern. I get it for testing, but if I make another one, I would not tack it down, because I like the option to have it either slouchy or folded up. So the brim could be, if I put it on with the longer brim, it could just be a floppy, cozy like hat. Or if I get too warm with it around your ears, I could use it as a slouch hat, or I could choose to fold it up if needed. So the yarn I used for this is Red Heart Hopscotch in the colorway Somersault. And the pattern's on Ravelry. And it's a paid for pattern. I use 5mm needles with a 16-inch circumference. Is that what you say, circumference? I think so. So yeah, this was a test knit. It was very fun. It has a very interesting stitch. It's new. I've tried looking it up everywhere in my knitting books and everything. She came up with a really cool pattern for this stitch. And yeah, she's looking for names for it. I don't know if she came up with one yet, but she's looking for suggestions for this pattern, for this stitch. I mean, very cool, and it's a very cozy hat. So I'll put a picture of me wearing it up here because I find I like that. I got gauge with this, but it's still pretty big on me. Like, it's still, it's big on my husband, who's got a 23.5-inch head. So it's not a tight hat. I like a tighter hat myself. So I think next time I'll probably go down to a 4mm if I use the same yarn. But I'm pretty sure if I was to do it again, I want to use like a wool so that it keeps me warmer. And then, like I said, I'm not doing the folded rim. I would choose to fold it up myself. So beautiful pattern, fun. The stitch that's done takes a little bit to do. I didn't whip this out as fast as I did the Blurry Flurry Hat though. It could be because it was in pieces that I got sent just so many rows or so many inches at a time. That might be why it seems like it took me longer. So I'll have to time it the next time. But I love how it turned out, and it'll make a beautiful gift for somebody. The next one, and my last finished object for knitting, I believe, yes. Oh, before I go on to this last one, I just wanted to show, I showed all my mom's socks that I made her for Christmas. So I just wanted to show you all the ones I did for my son for Christmas. So here was his first pair that I made with opal yarn. And then for his, I have the pairs here, but I'm only, because I have only two, I'm using the other set of blockers in a minute. So I have the other two socks done, but here is the other two pairs. There's this one that is another Patton's Croix. I love this. This is my favorite. And then there's this one that's also another Patton's Croix sock. Just love them. So 3 pairs of socks for him as well. They're all like 75% superwash and 25% nylon. So if they get thrown in the wash, they should be okay, but it does make them not last as long, I find. I did that with my first pair, and the pair that I have on now, I've hand washed them all the time, and they're lasting a lot longer than my first pair was. Okay, so if you want any information on colorways or anything like that, I showed them in the last few podcasts what the colors were of those socks. But if you can't find it or you don't want to look, just let me know down below and I will give you that information. I never mind doing that. So my last finished object is also a test knit, and I was super excited. I shouldn't, and I have no business to do test knitting in November. No business whatsoever to even offer. It's crazy because I still have like Christmas gifts to be making, and I don't know what's with me, but I really enjoy testing for people. So when I seen Judy over at the Autumn Acorn ask for testers for her magic heel sock in worsted weight yarn, yes, please. I kept seeing her magic heel socks and kept telling everybody about them. And I kept saying, oh my gosh, they look so easy. So you don't have the heel flap, heel turn, gusset, not as intimidating. They just look nice and easy to make. But I thought when I looked at them that they kind of looked a little different to me, like I didn't care for the look as much of them until I put the socks on, and now I'm in love with them. Like I want to make more and more and more pairs for myself. So they're kind of like a house slipper. So here they are. And if you watched Gina and me live on the Knitting Turnpike last week, I showed these on there as well. So you can see a cable. There's two cables that run across the top of the foot. One's on this side of the sock, on the blocker, and one's on the other side of the blocker. And then you could see the heel. Well, you should be able to see the heel there. Or on this one, you could probably tell that I blocked them, put them, and put them, and I actually wore them and I blocked them again. So this is a paid for pattern. I don't think it's out yet. As of 2 days ago, it wasn't out yet. But I'm making more. I already have plans. I already have the yarn. I'm going to show it to you after. It's amazing. So this yarn, there's a story behind this yarn. I'll talk about the story later. But this yarn's from Topsy Farms, which is in Amherst Island, Ontario. And it was a treat to work with. It's really lovely rustic yarn. I just love it. It keeps my feet that are always cold in the house. My feet are cold in the house. Like, doesn't matter the temperature, they're cold. I put these babies on and I'm warm, toasty warm all over. My toes are warm, I'm warm. But if my toes are cold, I'm cold. But these so I tested the size large. 4.5 millimeter knitting needles. I used my Addi Rocket Squared. And I think I did a 32-inch cord on them. What else can I tell you about this? Oh, one thing I forgot to do is the decreased part at the toes. So these are cuffed down. The decreased part at the toes, I forgot to decrease in pattern. So the pattern has you decrease in, if it's a knit stitch to knit off, it's a purl stitch to purl off. I forgot that part. I just got into the rhythm because I just finished making like 8 pairs of socks. So I forgot, and I did the sock pattern that I did on the regular socks on these. So I made a boo-boo, but as long as you do it on both socks, you have a matching pair, right? But I will be making more and doing them the other way as well, because they're really, really nice when they're on your feet. So I'll stick a picture, if it's not there already, of me wearing these beauties. Here is just another ball of the yarn. You could see how rustic it was. Like there was pieces of straw. I was picking pieces of straw out, and I just loved it. Just loved the whole process of making those socks. So thank you, Judy, for allowing me the pleasure of testing for you, because I'm a believer now, and I really, really feel guilty about not being one beforehand. But I just knew how the heel flap, heel turn, and gusset, how it felt so comfy on my feet. So, but I didn't know anything else. I made all kinds of other socks, but I always did that, go back to that same heel, and they're so comfortable. So when you have something that works, why change it, right? Why change it is because there's could be better, even better out there. So live and learn. Remember the socks that I showed you, the brown? Well, I've got also they're letters and numbers. So this black is E14. I hope that's focusing. And this beautiful, oh, this is my favorite. This is D08. Oh my gosh. I'm so in love with this color. I cannot wait to use this. Now, this is, again, Topsy Farms on Amherst Island, Ontario. Didn't even know they were in Ontario. I had these yarns in my stash already. I had 6 skeins of them. Couldn't remember where I purchased them. Obviously at a yarn store somewhere. But it was like kismet. Is that what you call it? When it's like, what a coincidence. I knitted the magic heel socks 2 weeks ago. I wore the socks and I fell in love with the yarn. Then I remembered Topsy Farms was the yarn, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like rustic yarn, because that was the first experience I had with it. And I wasn't sure if I was going to like the magic heel sock, but I loved them both, the yarn and the socks. So I was like, oh, I hope I bought more of that yarn. And I guess I did, without even knowing if I was going to enjoy it or not. I did. I had 2 skeins of the brown, 2 of the black, and 2 of this beautiful butterscotchy orange, I would call it. Yeah, I'd call it butterscotchy orange, and it's kind of like heather. There's specks of black in it. Oh, it's beautiful. Each skein is 110 grams. I think this one's 113 grams. So they must do around a certain weight, and then whatever the weight ends up being. And there's about 200 yards in each skein. Okay, so I was able to do my magic heel socks with 1 skein of the yarn, and I did a size large, so it did my whole pair of socks. It's a 2-ply. Okay, there's no nylon, and it's non-superwash. So I'm not sure how they're going to hold up, but I wear them when I'm just sitting and knitting and things like that. Like I wouldn't wear them on a hike or something like that. I'm actually thinking of, with the black, is to use some silk held with it, or some mohair, something to give it a little bit of strength, so that I can wear them out in my boots and things like that. So, because silk, mohair are a natural. So if I'm using the non-superwash, I don't want to use something like nylon that is not biodegradable. So this will have a smaller footprint, right? If I'm using the silk with it, or the mohair. As long as the mohair is just silk and there's no nylon in it. So back to the kismet. I was knitting the socks. And I loved the yarn. I looked up the yarn and I couldn't find out much information. where I was looking. I watch a lot of podcasts, like a lot. If you have a podcast, I'd love to hear about it, because I like this kind of version where you talk about all your projects, okay? That's the kinds I love watching. So I was watching one of my favorites, a local couple Canadian guys called Cabin Boy Knits. And they had an interview. And it popped up on my screen last weekend, and it said, Cabin Boy Knits interviewing Topsy Farms, or something like that. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? They're interviewing the farm from where I got the yarn. So they had this beautiful interview with, I don't know if it's the owner, one of the owners, the family. It's a family that owns the farm. But the island is 4 miles or kilometers. I'm not sure if they meant miles or kilometers. We go by kilometers in Canada, but 4 by 12. So 4 kilometers by 12 kilometers, or 4 miles by 12 miles. And over half of it, I believe, is this farm with all the sheep. And it's been in the family. This year is their 50th year. And from in the 90s, they were focused on making wool blankets, but in the last 10 years, they did their wool into yarn. And I guess in Canada, it's not really normal to get yarn from a farm, I guess, like such a large farm, I'm guessing. But I highly recommend, if you want to hear all about Topsy Farms and what their plans are for the future and what they're all about, to go check out Cabin Boy Knits. It's a couple of episodes ago, and it's so informational. No. It's a great, and it'll interest you. It'll keep you very, very interested. I'm just letting you know, like this, if I was going to a yarn store, I would think I would be paying like $25, $25 at least. $8. I believe online now it's $9. But if you're in Canada, if you order $400 plus in yarn, you get free shipping. Not only that, for your first order, you get 20% off your first order. So you can order $400, get 20% off. So there's 20, 40, there's $80, so $320. So I don't know if it's before or after taxes. It would show on the website. So there is a website, topsyfarms.ca maybe. But yeah, this is pure sheep wool, $8, $9. They did have some still for $8. They had $9. They had different other things too in there, but I'm like, I can't wait to use these up, and then I have an excuse to buy some more from them. They ship to the USA as well. I'm not sure about anywhere else, but it never hurts to contact them. Never ever hurts to contact them. So I just thought that was really, really cool that I happened to catch the interview and learn all about where my yarn came from, see the sheep where they came from, and just a full circle. So I was super duper excited. I thought it was cool anyway, so I hope you thought it was as well. So look forward to seeing some more magic heel socks with my beautiful Topsy Farm yarns. So I have 2 whips to chat with you about, and one that's not, a third one that's just not casted on, but I want to mention it because they'll probably be done by next podcast, and I want to show you that I have the yarn all caked up and ready to go because I'm excited about them. So my next, no surprise at all, my next whip, when I cast off socks, I have to cast socks back on, and so I casted on another set of socks. So of course I'm using the knit 2 at the same time, but on 2 separate needles. So I'm using High Sharps that my beautiful friend Gina had purchased for me. And I'm using Patton's Croy, and it is the color Mulberry Stripes. So on one of them, I've started this one here. I've started the heel flap, or yeah, the heel flap already. And the other one, I just I've just finished the leg part because I finished the heel flap, heel turn, and gusset on this one. Then I go to this one. Sometimes I'll do the heel flap and then do the heel flap, then do the heel turn and then the heel turn. Just depends on my mood, but I've got them both going. And of course I've marked every 10 rows with my little stitch markers there. I did 2x2 regular ribbing, 30 rows, 10, 20, yes. I only did 30 rows on the leg so far. 72 stitches. Did I say that already? I like really roomy around my legs. And 2.25 millimeters. I don't think I said that when I said higher sharps. So yeah, so I'm making these are for myself. So I'm a women's size 10, so the foot is quite long on them, so there's lots of knitting involved in those. So I hope I didn't forget anything. If I leave something out, never hesitate to ask me down below and I'll let you know the answer, because I'm always checking messages and always trying to keep up with that. And then my last active whip. Mom, you need to look away for quite a while now until I tell you that you can look back, because it's your sweater time. She knows it's a sweater. I just don't want her to see what it looks like so far. So this is a new whip also. So is my socks I just showed you. I hadn't had them casted on at all before last podcast. So this is also new since last podcast. So I'm using Patton's Lincoln Fog. And this beautiful, beautiful yarn. The color is called Pool, rightly so. And I'm making a size large, which I believe is is 38 or 40 inches around the chest. I'm using my Addy Rocket Squared, 8 millimeters, and I'm using like a 50-inch cable on it so that as I go along I could have it stretched right open to see how, make sure the sizing was correct. So I actually did the entire body. All I have to do is sleeves. So I've cast it on since last podcast, and I finished all the way the ribbing right to the bottom, and I just have the sleeves. And I could have had the whole sweater done, but 4 days ago I was like, oh no, I'm going to work on other things because I want to show it and give it its proper screen time. So I want to show it a little bit today, and then I want to be able to show it again on the next podcast too. So here is, oh, it's called the Dottie Pullover, and I'll give you the information in a minute. So here she is. I don't know if you can, it's just round and round and round knitting. But the pattern is not round and round knitting, okay? So the pattern actually calls for a knit and purl, knit and purl, knit and purl, all the way around every row. And then I think it's switched the next row. And it's actually a YouTube video. She has a YouTube video and it's on her website. You can just look up her instructions. It's free on the website, so it's a free pattern. It's using a bulky weight number 5 yarn, and oh, I forgot to write her. I'll put it on the screen, the name of her channel, so that you can find the video. She's got lots of neat crochet and knit videos, totally free. If you don't mind going to her website, there's a lot of ads on it, but once you get rid of the ads, you can just look through there and screenshot if you want. Printing, I printed off the pattern and it was 30 pages because of so many spaces and ads, like there was gaps. So yeah, it was ridiculous how many pages there were. So the only things I changed with the pattern is I made it a little longer. So I measured my mom from her underarm. I made her one last year in green, and she wanted this one a little bit longer, so I went last week and I measured from under her arm the green length of her green one, and then I asked her where she wanted it to sit. So then I measured the difference, and that was 3 more inches. So this calls for 19.5 inches in length, but I actually did 23 inches in length instead. Also, like I said, I just did knitting, straight stockinette around and around and around instead of the knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, because I just like the look of stockinette stitch. When I did the ribbing, it calls for 2x2 regular ribbing. I did knit through the back loops. So knit 2 through the back loop, purl 2. That's what I chose for ribbing. I find the ribbing looks really nice and finished for that. I did at the bottom, I did the Icelandic Bind Off. I really enjoy that. It's not as stretchy as Jenny's Super Stretchy Bind Off, but I find when you do Jenny's Super Stretchy Bind Off that it actually flares out too much for my liking. I don't like that. But the Icelandic Bind Off keeps the same shape, but it's stretchy. It's lovely. It doesn't flare. To me, it just looks beautiful. And it's super easy. Just look up videos on YouTube. Chili Dog, that's the name of their channel, Chili Dog. Theirs is the one I followed to learn how to do the Icelandic Bind Off. What else can I tell you? And that's about it. So I'm excited to do the sleeves. I'll probably have to do magic loop for them because my shorty sets of my Chowgoos do not go up to 8 millimeters. They only go up to 5 millimeters. So I'm hoping Chowgoo, if you're listening, not sponsored, if you're listening, I really, really would love if they got a 5.5 millimeter set up to 10 millimeter set as well for the shorties, because I have the small sock size set, like lacy stuff, and then I have the one that's bigger size up, so a 3.5 to 5 millimeter. So I can't use those. They're too small. So if anybody has any suggestions besides DPNs, I just can't handle DPNs. Just because putting it aside, I put it down a lot and pick it up and put it down, and I don't want the DPNs to go. Now, you might have seen these white things hanging from here, right? Well, you might hear of people using these things called barber cords. These are kind of like that, but these are way cheaper. These are called in the pony beads section in Michael's. They're with the children's craft section. You'll see all the little beads. They're cases of beads and stuff. Well, this is like a lace, like a plastic rubber lacing, and it's like a straw, like a really, really thin straw or a licorice type thing with a hole through it. I just take my 2 millimeter sock, like interchangeable sock tip, and I just kind of push it in, screw it in, and then it picks up the stitches really easy, and it's super, like not super sticky. It's sticky enough that this isn't even falling off. Like it's been hanging out there and neither one has fallen off my whole time doing my sweater. So it works, and you get, oh my goodness, 60, I want to say 30 or 60 feet. I think it's 30 feet of each color, and there's 2 colors in a pack for $5. Yeah, so you can cut as many as you want. You could do one around your sweater, do a 70-inch one so it hangs and there's lots hung out. You could do lifelines. You could, oh, it's amazing. Like I've used it on 3 different sweaters already, and I still have the whole second color that I haven't even cut yet. So I really, really recommend those. So I'm excited to see this on her while she wears her leggings. And actually, I think I might have enough of this yarn left to even make myself one as well. I really like this yarn, and working with it was a dream. I couldn't find her, one I did her last year was Bernat Chunky. And I don't know if you've noticed, like it was in my stash. from a few years before. Sorry, it's almost like mohair, but it's not. It was in my stash, and it was Bernat Chunky, but was number 5 weight. Well, everywhere I look now, all the Bernat Chunky is number 6 weight yarn. So it's all went up, and all the yardages went down, so my gauge isn't even close. So I knew this would fit her with the weight number 5 weight, so I had to find a new yarn to use instead of the other yarn that I used, because it would have turned out too big on her. I guess I could have went down a size, but there would have been a lot of guesswork in it, so that was unfortunate. So, but yeah, I'm happy with that. So that is my last whip. So all I have left now to chat about is I have a couple of things I purchased and some Happy Mail and one thing that I want to cast on. So I'll first mention the cast on. So it's in this little bag, sock bag that I got from my friend Gina, the Knitting Turnpike. And inside is Turtle Pearl Christmas yarn that I also got from Gina at the Knitting Turnpike. Again, check her out. Turtle Pearl, it had 2 colors. They're Christmas colors, separate skeins. They're identical, so you can knit 2 at once, and they come out, the stripes come out the same. And then there's a separate color, which is the red, for heels, toes, and cuffs. So I'm going to cast those on. So the yarn that Gina had given me was, as I said, Turtle Pearl. They're from Canada, and it's in their striped turtle toes. Here's the label. And the colorway is called Mistletoe Kisses. So it should knit up like this. It is 75% superwash, 25% nylon, 4-ply, 450 yards, and there we go. This yarn has been dyed to be self-striping. Both strands were dyed together, and it'll create matching socks that can be easily knit 2 at a time. For matching socks, make sure you start from the same end of each ball. So when I wound it, I made sure that I wound the 2 skeins the same way. So in the middle of the ball is the green to start for me. So we have that, and I want to cast those on so I can have those on my feet. And we have a Christmas that's in January as well, the first weekend of Christmas with family, so it's Christmas until the middle of January for us here. So I still have lots of time till my Christmas stuff to wear. I wear it right till the end of January pretty much. So I also wanted to make sure before anybody takes off, I won Fiber Hustle's last bingo for the Halloween one. So if you were with me, hello, and thank you Chip and Erin so much for all the hard work they put into this. And also thank you to Scrappy Angel, because I won one of thing that she donated, and it came in since my last podcast. So I won one of her peekaboo bags. Isn't it beautiful? So it's one of her sock bags. It's super roomy. It will have lots of room. Well, I will switch the yarn that Gina had given me and put it in here to show you, just so you have an idea. So this is so this is going to be 100 grams in here, plus a 20-gram mini. I'm going to put the mini in the middle so you can see. Look at that, and there's still room. Yes, I think I'll keep it in there, and I'm going to use that. And then with all her bags, I'll close that up and I'll show you. There's a little angel stitch marker progress keeper. Now I stay stitch marker as well because when I crochet as well, so the ones with the lobster clasps, I can use as stitch markers in crochet. So I call them as a stitch marker or a progress keeper. So there, thank you so much to the Fiber Hustle guys and to Scrappy Angel for my beautiful, beautiful bag. I can't wait to try it out and use it. I've been holding on to it, waiting to use it until I showed it on the podcast. And of course it's beautiful pink too. Okay, so there's only a few more things. If purchases aren't your thing, that's okay. I totally understand. Just a couple things to show you and that will be it. So I'll try not to take up too much of your time. So I just ordered on Amazon a set of these DPNs because I like wood DPNs because my metal ones kind of are really slippery and I'm afraid of them falling out. So I found these. They go from a size 2mm all the way up to 10mm. They're missing some millimeter ones, of course. I think they're missing 3mm, which is strange because they have 7mm in here. But yeah, these were like $19.99 for all the sets. So I'm super excited to have all matching sets here. So I had all mix matched ones from the Value Village before, or not Value, yeah, from Value Village, but I can't wait to use these. Got them from Amazon. If anybody wants a link, let me know. I don't know how they are yet. It's written right on each needle what size they are. So I just got to find a way to store them. I have them right now in this, just for now. I do have a binder thing to put them in that I showed on another podcast. So they'll probably just go in my binder thing so they're there all the time. My next thing is the bag that I had my mom's, or have my mom's sweater in. It is, says Winter Wishes. So it's not really necessarily a Christmas bag. It's made in my town that I live in. There's two pockets on the inside. There's pocket, actually there's a pocket here and a pocket on this side. Then there's a pocket on this side as well. And I believe there's a card. Yep, there's one of her cards. So it's Connie is her name, and it's her company name is called It's So Fun, S-E-W. It's So Fun. She makes wallets, totes, purses, quilts, and there's custom orders are available. So if you would like her information, just let me know, because she told me that she's more than happy to work with anybody to sell them to you. She has a Facebook group that's called It's So Fun, and you can order things from her from there. And I got this at the Chris Kindle Mart here in town, and when I seen the price, I couldn't believe it. This was $50. $50, that was it for this huge, beautiful bag. Like, it's so beautifully made. I cannot believe it. The prints inside, like, it's the red checker, and then there's the wreaths in there. It's got a beautiful, beautiful zipper that matches. You can fold it down if you want, if you're afraid of getting your work cut on the zipper or caught on the zipper. You can easily fold it down, and there's still lots of room. It's like a bucket, right? So just love it. And I purchased a second bag from her also, because if I was to order something like this on Etsy, they're like $90 plus for a bag that's of this quality. So I got another one. Whoops. That is actually, okay, it has a handle here, but it's a backpack. It's a backpack, guys. And not just the backpack, it has front pockets here all along the front. It's got pockets back here also all the way around. Then it's got like a drawstring kind of thing, but it has one of those where you pinch and you can move the tighten it, okay? I don't know the technical name for it off the top of my head. I know cowboys have them around their hats. And then I'm going to take some stuff in from inside so I could show you the inside also. I don't know why I stuffed stuff inside on you. I'm going to show you what this is though. Okay. And on the inside, it's got this beautiful lining. Okay. And also there is, you know how there's pockets around the outside here? Little pockets all the way around. There is that. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let's see if I can get you to see it. There is on the inside as well. I guess you'll just yeah, I think you could see them there. Yep. And it's beautiful. It's sturdy. It's heavy duty. Look at the sheep on the bottom, everyone. And all the fabrics. She's so great at matching fabrics. So this one was only $40. And I'm a backpack girl. Like, I use a backpack for my purse. So this might become my purse slash knitting. This way I can get away with having my knitting with me all the time and nobody needs to know it. I could just carry it around. So it's a fair size. This was easily be sweater quantity. Easy. Easy, easy. So yeah, check her out. It's so fun. SEW. Okay. Then at that same craft show, Christkindl Mart it's called, I purchased another item for myself. I've been wanting one for years. Actually, I kind of lied. It's from a pottery place, local again, but I wanted one of their yarn bowls. But if you watched my last podcast, you would have seen that I got a yarn bowl from from Value Village, which is a secondhand store, for only $5. So I didn't have to buy a yarn bowl. So I was like, oh, what can I buy instead from her? So I went, this is the name of their company, Big Bend Pottery. And I'm not sure if they do online ordering or not. But if you're interested at all, let me know. I can give you the contact information. Big Bend Pottery. Them's your show notes. And here is the beautiful mug. The size of the handle, you can see my hand fits right in. Nice and deep. Very so hopefully my husband doesn't watch this. He doesn't watch my podcast. I purchased him a larger one. He drinks coffee at work with a travel mug, but he doesn't drink it at home. So at home he drinks a lot of diet soda pop. So I bought him one just larger than this with a handle on it. And I'm sure he's going to really, really like it, because I like to support local, especially the last couple years. I keep whistling with my S's. Okay, so another item I got from the secondhand store. So we're done the Christkindl Mart. I did purchase something else from there, but I'm going to show it on my crochet part because it's a crochet item. So I want to show it on my crochet part. So I found this at the secondhand store. So somebody local to me made these bunny ear bags. I call them bunny ear bags because you put your sock project in there or your hat or whatever it may be. It's just a small little project bag. And then you loop this through here and then you can put it over your arm and knit. So I could sit on the recumbent bike at the gym or go on the treadmill, have my sock in there, the yarn pulled out here, and be knitting away while it's on my arm. So this was $1.49. $1.49, and the work that goes into these bags, like, it's so good. The colors are amazing. They didn't put a tag on. I don't know what the person's company name would be, or if they made it for a gift or what, but it was the only one there, and I said, that's coming home with me for sure. So I got that. Then next, I'll do them at once, a couple of cones of wool. So one's like a light gray, and this one's more of a taupey color, light sand brown type. I'm not positive if they're true wool, but I'm going to do the burn test. If you want to know what the burn test is, just type in, search YouTube, how to tell if your yarn is wool, cotton, or acrylic. And there's videos out there that show you how to put it on fire and to test what your fabric is. And by the burn test, you can really tell what it is. So I have a suspicion this one has acrylic more in it because it's soft. And this is very, very rustic feeling. So I'm really thinking this one here is wool. But I'll report back to you once I find out and do the burn test. I just found out too, I didn't realize that cones are made for knitting machines. I did not know that. I actually have a knitting machine that I got from somebody closing their yarn store years ago, but I was intimidated by it. So that might be something maybe in the next year that I sit down and fiddle with and get my husband to I don't know, grease it. Do you grease it or something? I'll have to get him to check it out. Okay, that's my podcast for knitting. I did a trip with my husband to Wool Time a couple weeks ago, and I've got a yarn haul from there. That's my Christmas gift. I've got projects for all the things that we got that weekend, so I wanted to show all the yarns to you in a separate video, not to tack it on to one or the other. This way, people that like the yarn haul videos will absolutely love this one. So watch for that to come out too. That'll be separate, and also watch for my crochet version because I've got lots to show on that and some really, really cool things and a few patterns that I actually designed myself as well. So, and I'm might be focusing on that a lot next year too, is designing and doing more of that kind of work. Maybe, possibly, don't know. Nothing too fancy, but okay. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Have a great week. If I don't see you before, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, whatever it is you celebrate or choose not to celebrate, just be well. Be well, be happy, be healthy. Take care, everyone. And maybe Happy New Year, but I really do hope I'm here before New Year's again, because that'll be, I'll have too much done and then it'll be like 3 hours of a podcast. So, and who wants that? I got a yarn, what do you call that? A spinning wheel and a yarn swift, like both old-fashioned and wooden. So the yarn, it's out in the garage. The yarn swift is like stands up and it goes around like this. It's like a Ferris wheel almost. Really, really cool. That is fine, but the spinning wheel is the thing that I purchased, and we drove like 45 minutes away to go pick it up. Bought these two things for $75 for the two of them together. Got home and the spinning wheel was broken. Yeah, really disappointed and upset about that. The where the spokes all are in the middle of the spinning wheel, all were broken. Like it just like almost like the wheel was just pushed right out. It's like, what the heck? I don't know how that just happens. I'm not sure at all. I know I'm out $75, but the Swift is worth a little bit of money, but it's not something I really would use. It's more like a display item. I don't know. It's not the reason I bought it. I bought it for the spinning wheel. So now I seen another spinning wheel is for sale for only $50. But I spent my money on the first one, and I don't want to chance another one being broken. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, sad. I'm upset because I was so super excited about having a spinning wheel, and I was going to focus lots of time on spinning next year. And now I'll just have to stick with my drop spindle. Oh well. Life and its twists and turns and upside downs and all the fun stuff. Well, I think that's it. Yep, that's it. I got gifts to wrap yet, and I have my podcasts and stuff to edit. So, and I've got 2 Mom's sweater to finish. And I've got my youngest son 1 project to finish. So I have 2 things left to finish up for Christmas. And then something for a baby shower. That's for our family Christmas also, but the one in January. So that gives me an extra 2 weeks. So fingers crossed I could get it all done. Take care, everybody. I'm starting to babble. Bye for now. Happy knitting. Keep on being naughty. Bye.